Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another freaking fabulous and fantastic Ask an Engineer. The letter of the day is F. We'll talk about why shortly.
All right.
But first off, check out my cool hat.
You have a
Sticky
cool hat.
Burn.
You have a cool hat.
We're representing the
Yeah.
Sticky Burn party. We'll talk about this project later as well. Got an exciting show tonight. All sorts of cool electronic projects, pictures of cats, 3D printers, new versions, new products, your questions answered, 3D printing videos, all that and more. Phil,
You want me to tell everybody what's going on?
please tell them
All right.
what's going to happen on tonight's show.
Okay, this is a big show. On tonight's show, the code is GEM. 10% off Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. We are going to go over the letter of the day from our coloring book, RS for Robots. Show and tell epic, some amazing projects. We saw some really cool projects. Pack of the mailbags and stop by and be like, hey, I was just a little letter, I was in the mail, but now I'm here now. Adafruit Jobs Board, the best place online to post your skills and for the companies to post their jobs and find amazing makers. We're gonna do some wearables. Got a cool video. And we got a couple amazing videos about 3D printing. We're catching up. We got two big, massive reviews of some amazing 3D printers that are available now. We're gonna have some new products. We're gonna answer your questions. We have a trivia question. All that and more on, you got it. You're here.
Ask an Engineer.
Ask an Engineer. Rhymes, see? You like how I did that?
I like that a lot.
Okay. All right. So let's get started. First up,
Hey,
how's it going?
I think it's good. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lady Ada the Engineer.
Yeah.
It's been a day.
Code's GEM. 10% off in the Adafruit store, all the way up until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Everything except for gift certificates and software.
That's right. We can't discount software.
Yeah, we're not allowed
But
to.
we have a really good deal on software. So pick
Yeah.
up a copy of EagleCAD.
Yeah.
You will enjoy it.
And if EagleCAD ain't your thing, no problem. In the links on EagleCAD, we put links to KiCad and Gita because that's how we roll.
Hey, EagleCAD, it's about as bad as pretty much any other layout software, so you might as well learn
TM,
one or the other.
yeah.
TM, that's like the thing. They
All
all
right.
kind of suck, so
All
just
right.
pick the one you like.
So we got a couple of things just to mention about what we do here. So $200 or more, you get free UPS ground, Continental USA.
Yep,
We like shipping stuff to the USA. We love it.
I love it. And to make it even better on you, we ship with UPS ground, not some weird, sure, maybe, we promise post, which is not actually sure we promise.
That is a funny
it's
thing.
all live.
Yeah. So when we were looking at the service level of like sure post, it's neither sure nor is it post. Sometimes things are called like what they're
No,
not.
it's post shipment. You're like, oh, I'm sure I should have picked something else. We picked UPS ground shipment, so you get trackable, insured shipments,
Yeah.
and you get it. And when they say they're going to deliver it, they'll deliver it, and they'll even leave you a little note. You don't have to go to the post office and
Yeah.
argue with the person with the pink sticky slip thing that you have. That will not happen when you ship with UPS ground,
Yeah.
and that's why we like to ship UPS
Yeah.
ground.
I will tell you, we are shipping geeks. I was on the phone with someone today.
You were.
I was on the phone with someone today, and their whole life is shipping and import, export, and everything. And you know what's
You were actually, I was a little bit worried because you were actually having a really good time with
Yeah.
Brenda on the phone. And
Yeah.
I was kind of like,
I'm starting to see other shippers.
you're
So the thing is, like, being able to.
my discussions of ECCN codes and qualifications and like HTS, export versus Schedule B, does not do it for you anymore.
Sometimes I need to get year 99 from other places. So, anyways, so here's the thing. So I was talking about all the stuff we do and all that, and she said, "You guys are really into this. I don't normally hear, I don't normally hear this." And I was talking about what we do because we're really good at shipping and really good about all the things that go into sending a package anywhere in the world. Anyways, so
We're super into shipping.
yeah, we're really into
It
shipping.
makes our marriage strong.
Okay.
But anyways, that's why we like UPS ground. And we also have UPS second and third day if you need it. But
or Light Express,
Ground's really good
and lots of
too.
other things. So
Just explaining our shipping
the letter
things.
of the day from Lady Ada's RS for Robots, a coloring book, is
fabulous
F.
F.
So this is F is for First Robotics, and there's a little bit of a story behind this.
Okay.
So First Robotics is, I think, one of
What
the
does first even stand for?
probably be the trivia question. It's like
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Is anyone paying attention?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know what that is, but I've been awake for like 2 days.
Okay. Anyways,
So we have
first
to
robotics.
agree. You can't ask me trivia questions on the show when I've not seen. I've not seen light for a while. It's just, you can't quiz me.
Look, cause you know so much more first, and I
know,
don't. So
I know.
I was actually just curious.
I know. I don't know where I am and how I got here.
We're doing this show, Bill.
Yeah. So this
Well, that's your friend. You
It is. So Dean came in as a friend of mine. I spent Thanksgiving with him at his amazing, crazy house.
And you said he had dollars. Special.
There's
like Dean
there's
Cannon
like
dollars.
there's like Dean bucks and all that stuff.
Dean bucks.
And
And he lives in New Hampshire.
yeah.
Okay. Live free or die.
Yeah. And so first is we're probably stopping by First Robotic Competition this Saturday. Basically, it's an after-school program where there's mentors and young people come together and make robots. And it's very difficult to get a curriculum like this embedded in a school. So it is an outside of school activity, but they partner with schools and all that.
I remember you said like you were hanging out with Dean or you were hanging out with somebody else because they were trying to get us to be mentors. We're actually like, we don't have time to actually meet with like hundreds of high school students. And it was either Dean or one of like the people who was in charge who said to you that they can get funding from like Lockheed and like other, like Boeing and stuff. And he said the problem is that Boeing's like, and even like the military, they're like the people who are designing like the 787 Dreamliners. Like there aren't more people like them. Like we're actually running out of people who can design this kind of stuff. We actually need more roboticists. So yeah, go roboticists. You guys are like gonna run the world.
Yeah, so it stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Tech. Okay. So yeah, so Dean came and when he told me this story, he was in a Boeing with like the CEO of Boeing who was like flying the plane. It was like a crazy story like that. And basically, the average age of the aerospace engineers is something like 70. So the whole world,
They're running out.
They're running out of people. So this is just our bet on the future. So the other thing that Dean's known for is a Segway. So for a while, I had the most miles on a Segway. I used it to commute in Seattle, and I went from my home to Lower Queen Anne, and I went over the giant hill there, and I had thousands and thousands of miles on my Segway, and I had one of the first ones. And Dean is known for that, in addition to all of his patents, his water purification, kidney dialysis stuff. He had a system. It was called like I think it was called iRobot, and it was iBot, and it would balance it on two wheels and it could go upstairs. Absolutely amazing. And Dean is very important for a piece of like DNA and culture at Adafruit. He is the one. And also Linda Stone, who had repeated what he had said, but I heard him say this: "Is we are what we celebrate."
Yeah, this is like your motto.
Yeah, and we've brought it into Adafruit, and so when we see amazing people out there, amazing women, amazing individuals who do cool stuff, we like to say we are what we celebrate. And when you look at covers of magazines, when you look at TV shows, it is true. If we celebrate reality TV show stars, is what we're going to get. If we celebrate people who do science and technology and engineering, that's what we're going to get. So it is like kind of embedded on our page almost everywhere.
So one of the quotes that shows up on the invoice.
It's one of the quotes that show up on the invoice, but it's really guided the company. So when you guys see what's on our homepages and what's on what we put out there as what we think
we get to choose.
Is
it's
worth
our
celebrating.
Website. We're gonna celebrate
And
what
so
we want to celebrate.
This is why it's a very special letter in the coloring book.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what's the thing on the side there? Sorry. Could you help design it? What's that other robot?
So First Robots, they usually have competitions where they all have to kind of do the same thing. This is like one of the robots
like
that picks up a ball. Yeah.
Okay, so he's riding the Segway, but he also has the drag.
Yeah.
And he's like really into. I see he always gets he always has to talk places or do talks or speeches. Remember we saw a talk of him, and he said they asked me to come here and talk about the Segway, but I really want to talk about First. So he like talked about the Segway for like exactly like 2 minutes and 59 seconds, and then talked about First. So First is really his passion.
Yeah. And I also like that he works on a lot of medical technology stuff. So anyways, Deca Design in New Hampshire is a cool company. Okay. All right, Lady Ada, we have a show and tell every single week.
Okay.
It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. People from around the world show and share their projects with you in the world. And we do retro tech, we do cool new projects. We have Adafruit staff members. Sometimes when you grow a company, geography shouldn't matter. And we have a saying, find a freaky person far away, and we have some cool freaky people. We have
Like almost all of our creative team is spread across the globe. It's cool.
A lot of them are, and it's because geography shouldn't matter. I think one of the things, and especially when we watch the show and tell, I think about this, is we built the internet collectively so we all don't have to live in San Francisco to run internet companies and technologies. No, I'm just saying it's cool that there's a concentration of this stuff.
Yeah.
But some of our best people live in Minnesota. Some of our best people live in California. Some of our best people live in France. Some of our best people live in Washington. Some of our best people live in Florida. It's okay.
Yeah.
We use Hangouts. We do all this stuff, and we're starting to share it when we do the show and tell. So, with that being said, what did our team and everybody have this week, Lady Ada?
I will go over that while you check out.
I'm gonna go away.
Stuff in the chat.
I'm just gonna go away.
Okay, we start off with Tony D, who just shows up like every show and tell, which is pretty, in and of itself, pretty amazing, I think. And he's showing off Adafruit IO beta test demo. We got a little bit sidetracked with the Pi 2, but we're really, really close to wrapping all that stuff up. So all you people who want to Adafruit IO beta accounts, we're getting really close. But he demoed off a Yun plus Raspberry Pi, where on the Yun there's a slide switch, and on the Raspberry Pi there's an LED, and they don't actually talk to each other. Instead, they're connected only through Adafruit IO, so they're both connected to the Adafruit service. And he flicks the switch on the Yun, and the LED turns on and off on the Raspberry Pi, and it happens almost instantly. So I asked him to actually do a measurement, but it looked like it was well under half a second. It was probably like 100 milliseconds. So amazing how fast it is, and we're working on speeding up the response rate and latency and all that stuff, so we can have I want to basically be able to push a button here, and then in Tokyo, an LED or a NeoPixel lights up. So we're getting there. So check out the demo if you want to see how fast the latency, or how small the latency is. Noe and Pedro from Adafruit Southeast showed up as well. I see now. I can't remember where he was either. That's the thing. They're all in my heart, even if they're remote. And they showed off. They've been working on the Drony Award. They used copper fill, which is this very metallic-looking filament, and 3D printed a really adorable drone, like the cutest drone. This drone is totally not going to come and kill everybody in your village. This is just the sweetest little drone, little spinning propellers. It's 3D printed. It's going to be the award we give to people for the Drony contest that we're doing. Maybe you'll talk about that later. Mm-hmm. Basically, film and art and photography using quadcopters and drones. You do it, you want prizes, we give them to you. And we'll be doing more of that soon. I mean, we just finished the award, so we're about to get really into the contest. And they also reviewed the Type A machine. That's actually the name of it. It's a Type A machine.
Yep.
So it's just a little bit difficult to parse, but and it's one of the machines we actually just put in the store, and it's incredibly high quality 3D printer, really beautiful, well made. The extruder design is different than any other 3D printer, and the quality is excellent. And they made the gun blade from last week or 2 weeks ago with it, and they said it's their favorite new plastic printer. They're also using the Ember right now, but of the melted plastic extrusion type printers, this is their favorite.
Yeah.
And they're gonna maybe even revisit a couple old projects to improve them now that they have the Type A.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this
What?
about the series, the new printer that we have.
Yeah.
Because we have it in stock.
Yes.
And I've watched our experts go through every single printer, and this Type A machine is as good or better than what we all really do like, which was the Replicator 2 from MakerBot.
It's much better quality than the original.
No, I'm saying that was kind of our standard for a long time.
That was the standard. Not the current one, but the previous.
Yeah,
standard.
and
the Adafruit one.
Yeah, the Adafruit. Yeah, that was peak MakerBot, and I have friends at MakerBot, and I hired Bree to come work for me at Make, and everything kind of went crazy after that. But this is a really good printer, and we finally, I think, found the Adafruit printer for a while.
Yeah.
This is the 3D
I want
printer.
one.
Yeah, this is the 3D.
The simple metal is these are the best.
Yeah, and so we finally, it's been taking a long time because buying 3D printers is kind of rough. So we finally have the full, finally have the full selection we like, and then the Ember, which is kind of new and experimental from Autodesk, which is pretty amazing, is one of the ones that we're very interested in. So we finally have the base of the 3D printers. We say, these are the ones that we think are the best. And then we have ones that we're like, hey, this is experimental, this is coming along. So I like our lineup.
Let me do my thing.
What? No, it's I have 1 minute before I go to the next thing.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
I know, because you really like to type it. Anyways.
Yeah.
Phil B came by. I'm going to rush through these. Phil B came by, and he and I have been working on testing the new Pi 2 support for the Pi TFT. It's so close to done, really. Like, we're really close. Like, it's happening. We're in beta test now. And he's using a Pi 2 with the Pi TFT, and because the Pi 2 is so fast, he's actually able to run OpenGL games at like pretty much full speed on the Pi TFT. So he's playing Quake, I think. I think he was playing Quake 2 or Quake 3 on the Pi TFT using this FBCP, this frame buffer copy. And he said like he can run like pretty much any emulator that Emulation Station can do at full speed. So hopefully we'll have a tutorial on that once we get the Pi TFT kernel wrapped up and packaged. Aiden came by. He's doing soft robotics, and he showed off a pump that he's working on, and he's trying to come up with a structure for soft robotics where you have like a set of tools, sort of like, not like Legos, but like the construction set of soft robotics using 3D printed parts, Arduino, motors, pneumatic tubing. So he's working on that. Hopefully we'll come back and give us more updates. Ben Miller has this costume that he's making, and I guess it's inspired by Five Nights at Freddy, which I have not played this game. I don't even know the full name of it. But chances are you've played it, because apparently everyone else in the world has. And he's making this awesome like foam rabbit head costume where the ears like move, and there's like glowing stuff coming out of the rabbit, and it's got like things and like eyes, and it's like moving, and he's working on this costume, and it's like super cool. And he has a really nice workspace as well. Maybe we'll see that project come back. Richard Alberton has been working on milling out PCBs using a Shapeoko, which I wasn't actually sure that the Shapeoko would be precise enough to mill out PCBs. But he says he got a really good quality bit, like a 0.2 millimeter bit, and he is actually able to do like surface mount and through hole design, even like drill out holes in PCBs, extremely good quality. So yeah, if you want to do PCB design, we have the other mill in the shop, but we also check out the Shapeoko as well. Seems like it's can do the job. Robert M. Came by and showed off an EMIC2 text-to-speech module that was designed by, I think, Joe Grand for Parallax. It's one of the text-to-speech modules we have in the store. And he hooked it up to his Raspberry Pi with the web interface, and so he could like type into the web interface like, "Hello world," and the Raspberry Pi was like, "Hello world," and it has like a couple different voices. It's kind of nice, very cute.
Like that.
I can sing Daisy to you. And then we wrapped up with C. Scott, who showed off a very beautiful schematic that was hand-drawn. He said it was his last schematic that was hand-drawn. It was a C80 dual PID processor that he made for a company, and he says he even had it, and he like turned it on, and it still worked because like
he's like an EE historian almost of his own
archivist.
Stuff. So I've seen like your sketches and things that you do.
Okay, mine just don't, because mine I know they're bad.
No. And then I've seen Waz, all of her stuff.
Hers are good.
And then I've seen
K-Towns are really
I've seen
good.
K-Towns and
Those are
everything.
really nice.
And I'll have to say, C. Scott's work on paper looks like his work with EagleCat. It's very tight and precise.
Yeah.
It's really
My
intense.
schematics are totally the worst. I know they are. And like everyone emails me and lets me know. Sorry. They work. They're just not pretty.
Why do you care? I mean, that's the thing.
I do care a little bit, but what I do is like when it's something that I'm like, oh, this is going to be public, like people are really going to look at this, I actually have K-Town redraw them for me.
Yeah. That's
No,
good.
he's amazing. Like he has like little sections and he's like power supply.
His stuff always ends up looking like a scene in Tron. It was really neat.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, mine is.
All right. So that's it. So
My routing is pretty good, but my schematics are not so great.
yeah.
It's okay.
So, Lady, how do people get on the show and tell?
Would you like to show off your hand-drawn schematics on Show and Tell? You can show that and many other projects, costuming and cosplay and sewing and crafting and wearables and electronics and programming and interactive art and maker spaces and old stuff that you bought at Radio Shack and other retro technologies, all of that and more. Basically, if we think it's cool, it's totally awesome to show off your project, please join the Show and Tell circle by going to plus.google.com/+Adafruit and say, hey, like, add me to the Show and Tell circle. We have like a thread and it has like a robot with like, and it says like, add me to the Show and Tell, like comment here to get added. Comment there and we'll right click on your avatar and add you and you'll join the other 500 people that are invited every single week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time to show off your project, and you'll get a show and tell sticker even.
Okay. So just a reminder for the folks who are tuning in for the first time, this is Ask an Engineer, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single week, and show and tell is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesdays every single week.
It is recorded, but in case you're like, hey, I want to watch it live and ask questions live.
Mailbag. So this is Pack the Mailbag. Every week we get letters from people. We read these to the entire company. So when you send them, we do read them. This is from Tim. It's a pleasure doing business with a company such as Adafruit that not only provides an abundance of documentation and tutorials, but also stands behind the products that they sell. That is true. Thank you, Tim.
I stand and sit behind my products.
We are sitting behind the products that we sell here. Yeah.
Look at all of these. Well, these are all boxes, but behind them are shelves and shelves of products. And we're soon going to move into the new space.
Can we make a promise?
What?
This might be one of those promises.
Oh, boy.
Can we make a promise?
This is getting deep.
Yeah, well, how about we never, if we promise never to have a studio, and we will always broadcast from
this show?
For Ask an Engineer.
For Ask an Engineer, yeah, we're never going to have a studio.
We'll always be in the factory.
F that noise.
Because that means something, right?
Yeah.
Because it means we don't want to have a separate private thing that has nothing to do with the company, that has full control. There's going to be people shipping. There's people walking by all the time.
I would actually, personally, if I had a choice, I would totally love it if we could do Ask an Engineer in front of the pick and places again, because that was really cool when we did that. That was nice. But I just don't know. There's just not a lot of space, and I don't want to piss off the people who do the pick and placing by having to move their reels around.
Yeah. Yeah, let me give everyone a pro tip. When you run a company, eventually you realize you actually have 65 bosses. All the people who work here are our bosses, which we like. If you acknowledge it, you can get really far. So anyways, thank you, Tim, for that email. Jobs. Who wants a job? All right. So I kind of mentioned my pals at MakerBot. So since I said the new printer that isn't a MakerBot is really good, I'm going to throw them a boon. MakerBot's looking for people to work for them. It's a job. MakerBot trainer. A MakerBot trainer is someone who's passionate about 3D printing. They will provide training to MakerBot employees, customers, clients, and more, maintain expert level product knowledge of MakerBot. Basically, you just run a MakerBot a bunch. That's what you do. So if you like doing that, there's a job for you
in New York. If you love MakerBot and you want to tell people about 3D printing and teach them how to use 3D printers, you could actually get a job for it.
Okay, so that's it. I still like the Type A machine. It's a really good printer.
But you know what? If they can bring out a printer that is as good as or better than the Rep 2 Gen 4, we will absolutely carry it.
High praise. Okay, next up, some big news. I think this is the biggest news. The new Horowitz and Hill site is up. This is happening.
It's up and it's golden.
This is happening. Art of Electronics, 3rd edition. Coming out, they emailed us. If you look at the list of places to get the book, Adafruit Industries is on there. Yeah. You have a quote on the cover. Yeah. The first and only female engineer to be quoted on a publication like this. Good work, you. We are what we celebrate. So we have one coming. It's like the ink is drying. So we'll have one here. And thank you so much to Horowitz and Hill for.
I told Waz I'd give her one though. Maybe I'll give her mine.
That's fine.
That's cool.
It's a big deal.
I can wait.
So go to the website and check it out. Okay. Next up, we had some celebrations here. 100,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah. I remember that. We were so close. Thank you everybody. I know last week we were at 99,812, and you guys actually really helped out.
Yeah.
I think we hit it on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Thursday?
So
100,000.
Yeah. So
we watch it. We kept refreshing.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We do all these videos, and we provide, I think, pretty good children's television, or our Circuit Playground series. We do all of this for free. We don't get sponsorship to do videos. There's no one paying us to do videos. So what we've decided is let's give all this stuff out from the shows and everything. And all we ask is let us know that you're enjoying this. We have to know. The most important part of our job is to have an audience and have a community. So thank you for subscribing. We hit a milestone. YouTube will send us a silver button now. We get a silver play button. When you hit your 100,000 subscribers, the next one is 1 million.
Yeah.
And we get a gold play button.
Yeah, for all the scripted stuff we do, just because people sometimes don't know what it takes to do video. We have to pay videographer, we have to buy lights and photo equipment, and we have to pay for the software and the computers that can do the video editing. And it's about 1 hour of filming for 1 minute of video. So if you see a 5 to 10 minute video, it took 5 to 10 hours.
Yeah, And we're only doing more video. So thank you, everyone. We really appreciate it. It's the way we measure success. If we take on an endeavor, if you're not measuring it, it's not worth doing, and we do. So thank you. Next up, this is still happening. So the Droney Awards are coming. The judges, we have 17 of them. I'm going to add a couple more, and then we're going to be ready to talk about how to enter. But if you want to get ahead of the game, all you have to do is shoot video or photos from a drone and tag it Droney.
And make sure it's cool.
Yeah.
Make sure it looks good.
Yeah. And also, if you've already done stuff and put it out on the internet, it's really good. We're going to seek out footage.
Yeah,
and
if
film.
you did it before, you can. I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
If you want some other competition, re-enter. I'm not like,
Yeah.
oh, you can only enter one competition at once.
Yeah.
Enter it as many times as you want.
So,
Pound Droney.
So anyone, if you're thinking about doing anything interesting with a drone and a camera, just get ready. This is going to be the biggest and first film fest of its type.
I can't wait.
This is what we do. All right. We have a special video. I wanted to play this last week. This is a very cool Bluetooth app. And Tony and Carmen the cat are going to take it away.
It's one of the new tutorials.
This is a quick preview of something I've been working on. So this is an LED light bulb that's controlled over Bluetooth Low Energy, and I've been able to reverse engineer the protocol so I can control the light bulb myself. And the bulb is this. It's the Colorific, the Smart Bulb Colorific, and it's just a cheap LED light bulb. I found a 2-pack of these bulbs for about $35 at Costco. And you can see it's controlled with Bluetooth Low Energy using a little application on a smartphone. And it's no fun to use that application because you're locked into what it allows you to do. You can't be as creative with that. So I'd like to be able to control this light myself. And I was able to reverse engineer the protocol using this, which is the Adafruit BLE Friend, the Bluetooth Low Energy dongle. And you can actually set that up to sniff Bluetooth Low Energy packets. So I was able to watch as I used the application on a smartphone what commands it would send to the light bulb, and I'm able to replay those back to control the light myself. So you can see the light is just cycling through the different hues of color right now. And what's powering this is a Raspberry Pi with a Bluetooth Low Energy dongle here. And I just have a really simple Python script that's using the Blues Bluetooth Low Energy stack to control the light bulb. So it just has to write to a special characteristic to change the RGB color. And it's pretty cool. This gives me a lot of different possibilities of things that I can do. Like if I wanted to make the light bulb flash a certain color when I get an email or something like that, I could definitely do that with the application here. Or I can just have it cycle through all the colors and maybe annoy the cat.
Alrighty, next up.
Okay, we're back.
We're back. Oops, I wanted to go to time travel. So this week's time travel, Lady Ada,
Wind back the clock.
wind back the clock
2.
a long time ago.
Long time.
1917, Samri Musa, Egyptian physicist born. She was an Egyptian nuclear scientist who held a doctorate in atomic radiation and worked to make medical use of nuclear technology affordable for all. She organized the Atomic Energy for Peace Conference and sponsored a call for setting an international conference under the banner Atoms for Peace.
Was that a Radiohead album?
It should be. 1917.
Okay.
Amazing.
That's cool. She's like instead of using it for, war as it would be for next 20 years and above and beyond.
1970, ahead of the curve.
She's way ahead of it. She's like, hey, by the way, let's not use this to kill people. Let's use it for medical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when you and I went to Hiroshima, that was intense.
Yeah.
The Peace Park is one of the few places, so the mayor of Hiroshima sends letters to every, I believe it's governor or president of each nation, saying, let's get rid of these nukes. It's the only thing that we've created as humans that can destroy us 50 times over.
Yeah.
Or more. It's more. It's a lot more.
It's a lot.
So heavy stuff to think about, but maybe one day we can get on that. Because I don't know if I trust anybody to kind of maintain these things and not press the button one day. Like, I don't trust me. I'd be like, you know what? They're...
Sometimes I go to the fridge and I open it and then I forget what I was looking for, so...
Well, it's just like, I think you and I would do a pretty good job, but like, I don't know, we might be like, oh man, this isn't working out today.
That day, yeah.
Just blank. So anyways.
Turn your key, sir.
Yeah, so wearables this week, if you're out there wondering why Lady Ada has this hat, we have a video. So
It's
here,
3D plus wearables.
so here we go.
Hey Noe, it's nice to see you and I like your hat. Thanks. I like your hat too. Why don't you tell us about this project you put together? This is really cool.
Sure. I saw this kid on the subway on my way to work one day who was wearing this baseball hat, and it had these like white letters on it. It looked like they were made out of plastic. And of course, you know me, the first thing I thought was we can make that. And I thought out of some 3D printing filament like Ninja Flex or other flexible thing. And I asked you if we could do it.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, that's a really good opportunity to use the text tool in 123D. I haven't used it too much, and so I took a look at using it. It's pretty straightforward to use it, and the really hard part for this project was really making the sew tabs. So tell me a little bit about how you came up with the sew tabs for this thing.
Yeah, I thought when I saw this kid's hat on the train that the letters were glued on, and I thought it would be fun to use sewing to attach 3D printed letters to the hat so that you could change it out and not have to use like nasty chemicals, plus you get some cool sewing experience. So the important part about the sew tabs is that they don't stick out off of the letters. They're actually part of the sidewall, the vertical sidewall of the letter, recessed in. And that lets you do things with contrasting colors so that your hat is one color and your letters are another color, and you get a nice crisp line all the way around. And so I sketched it up and you modeled it in CAD.
Yeah, and it was pretty straightforward to put together. And so if you're wanting to put yours together, you definitely want to experiment with how many sew tabs and where, because I ended up making extra sew tabs that I didn't need, like in the center here, but it's actually okay. It's better to have more than fewer. How did you attach it to the hat? It's a little hard to get the needle in, so you have this really cool technique. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, I like to work smarter, not harder, and you know, after stabbing myself a bunch of times to trying to sew from the inside of the hat out, it's difficult to hold on to the 3D object and then sew another 3D object onto it. So you can use pins to hold it in steady, but you can also take one piece of thread and put a needle on each end, and then take those two needles and put them each through the holes in the sew tab, which when you pull it into the inside of the hat, then you have two tails on the inside and a loop on the outside that catches the sew tab, and you don't have to play a guessing game of where to pierce through the hat to get the position right. It is a lot of like threading the needle over and over again, but it's good practice if you're new to sewing. That's one of the things I like about this project, is that it's pretty easy for beginners in modeling, because the text tool is pretty easy to use. It's pretty easy for sewing also, so it's a generally really great beginner project.
And it doesn't have to be a hat. It could be maybe a book bag or a shirt or pants or something else. So it's really up to you guys on what you want to do with it. And it doesn't actually have to be Ninja Flex. You could also use PLA material, for example. Becky, I think you tried
I did.
An experiment with that.
I took some glow fill, which is that glow-in-the-dark PLA, and all I did was heat it up in a pan of water. I just put the water on the stove, let it boil, took it off the boil, and put the plastic in it for just a few seconds, and then I was able to form it around the hat to just get that general curve, and then sewed on just like the other ones. I did have to pierce out the holes in the sew tab with my rotary tool to get good clearance to get the needle through.
Okay, so a little bit more work, but definitely really cool that it glows in the dark.
Yeah, that's cool. I also tried with Semi-Flex. So this project works great with either Ninja Flex Classic or Semi-Flex, its slightly less flexible cousin. Depending on the thickness of the letters, you can get away with a lot.
Yeah, I also printed this one in Semi-Flex, mainly because it has better detail. It's going to work better on your printer. It has less retraction, oozy problems, so that's really nice. So now that it's printed in Ninja Flex, how about adding electronics to it, making it glowy?
Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody asks me, right? It's pretty common. And I think that's a good place to take this project next. Maybe we'll do that if enough people request it as an upgrade. I think it could be easy to put the electronics behind the Ninja Flex. The white color diffuses LED light really nicely, and so you could hook it up with like some NeoPixel strip and a Gemma maybe, make it sound reactive like our previous project. So I think that our viewers at home could definitely take that leap and put electronics, and we'd love to see them. Noe, where can people show off their creations?
Yeah, you can show off at our Show and Tell show that's on every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Google+. Oh yeah.
And if you're not already, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We do new wearable electronics and 3D printing projects every week. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Noe. Bye.
Bye.
Dokie.
Okay. Audio back?
Yeah, we're back. So I should wear this hat.
Yeah.
So
The new rule at Adafruit is everyone has to wear a Stecky Burn hat. It's so unhappy. Okay.
I'm happy because my head is really.
This is a really big hat.
Yeah, so this has been a problem. It doesn't fit.
What are you talking about? It fits great.
It doesn't fit. I have a.
It's supposed to be
my
tall.
head's too big. When I was a child, I had to get this special pillow to cry into because my head was so big. My head was round yet pointy like Sputnik. Okay, all right.
What?
Yeah.
Where
Okay.
that's from. Okay.
Hey, so Becky and I do a show together every Wednesday at 2 p.m. It's called Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. It is pretty cool. It's
And
a
we also have some more wearable news too in the new product section. So if you're into wearables, stay tuned.
It's a wearable electronics show. We just did a new segment
What's the new segment?
where it's a workshop. So
Okay.
Becky workshops it up. So if something is like a long project, she workshops it up.
What does that mean?
Project workshop.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you mean?
She makes it into a workshop. Like, this is what you could do for a bunch of people or a very long, it's a workshop, project workshop.
I see. So she's actually saying like, okay, here's like, oh, take a Gemma and these LEDs, and this is
It's
what
like-
you would do
It's
for
like
your...
8 steps to get this done. It's more than just a question and answer thing. It's really cool.
Oh, interesting. I gotta watch this out. I was like deep
Yeah.
in like debugging at 2 o'clock and watch live. I was gonna watch the
And
recorded
then I was
show.
asking her, I'm like, so what do you do when you get a question? And you're like, I'm going to, quick, workshop, go to the little thing, like in case of workshop, break glass. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess you have to be there.
Okay.
All right. So we got some 3D printed stuff.
We also have some great videos
Yeah, so
from Noah and Pedro.
here's the deal. We have 2 3D printing review videos. I am going to show one of them.
Okay, which one?
I got to show the Ember.
Show the Ember. That one's cool.
It's absolutely amazing. So everyone, get the kids right now, if they're in the other room.
Especially if they're interested in 3D printing using like
And
lasers.
what's more likely is kids, go get your parents and get them from stopping to watch TV and bring them by. You're going to see a very cool glimpse of the future.
Yeah, this is like vat 3D printing.
Yeah.
Just chemical vats. And
All
like,
right.
stuff growing out of it.
Enjoy.
Coming up, Ember 3D printer. That's right, today we're taking a look at the Ember 3D printer from Autodesk. We've been printing our projects for several weeks and wanted to share some of the workflows and techniques. This is a DLP SLA 3D printer, so it's completely different than all the 3D FDM printing we've been doing. So here's a basic look of how it works. So this printer uses a DLP projection to cure photosensitive resin using a UV light. The projector shoots UV light as one full slice for each layer, and this can print in resolutions of 10 microns. So the metal build plate moves up along the Z-axis and prints emerge from the resin tank. The Ember printer uses a cure and peel technique. This is where it exposes and separates for each layer to create a high definition part. So when the UV light is exposed to the resin, it's hardened and solidified. The resin tank then separates and moves away from the build plate and then returns for the next layer.
And this does this for like every layer. Enclosure parts that are smaller than 30 millimeters can actually print without any support material. STL models themselves are going to get prepared using Autodesk's mesh mixer, and here you can set up your support structures to hold onto the models to the print head.
So setting up the proper orientation for an object can be a little tricky. You'll want to test different angles to get the right orientation. You'll also want to keep in mind that parts are printed upside down. That's because the print plate is oriented that way when printing.
So you can optimize support structures to print with the tighter hold by upping the tip diameter. Under the support generator options, you can update the defaults from 0.15 millimeters to 0.5 millimeters. And this is going to increase the width so it holds objects more firmly, making print fails actually less likely. You can also add your own custom supports here to accommodate for any overhangs.
Next up, we're going to need to slice the model up for printing. This is done through the Ember printer website. Here you can preview models to make sure everything fits correctly. To speed up prototyping, we can print at a lower resolution of 50 microns and then adjust the exposure time to 3.5 seconds.
The slice preview lets you visualize how the part's going to be printed, and it's actually just a stack of PNGs. You can also monitor your print job from any mobile device.
Okay, so to operate the printer, you're going to need to handle the resin with safety in mind. So you must wear gloves, safety glasses, a lab coat, or an apron, because, you know, safety first.
Each print needs to be cleaned and processed, and this can get a little messy. So it requires a cleaning station and handy tools that are specialized for handling those resin parts.
So your tools, containers, and anything you touch are gonna get resin on it, so you need to be cautious.
Now let's take a look at removing support material. So to remove the support material, we recommend using flush diagonal cutters. You can start by snipping off the tips from the supports and then removing branches as larger groups. You want to try to cut the tips away from the part to prevent any surface damage. We definitely recommend wearing a safe shield to protect yourself from any flying bits, especially when you're breaking apart those smaller pieces. And you want to take your time, especially when cutting complex structures. And if you have support structures inside of your model, you can use tweezers to hold them in place while snipping them into smaller bits.
Okay, so now after your parts are printed, you'll need to fully cure them by submerging them inside of a plastic jug full of alcohol. You're gonna need to let it soak for about 5 minutes before taking it out and patting dry with a paper towel. Rough edges and support bits can be sanded away, but it leaves a chalky look. So this can be fixed with a little bit of mineral oil.
Now let's take a look at maintenance. Keeping the resin tank clean is really important. When prints fail, material tends to build up and float around the tank. This can be a little bit difficult to spot, especially with clear resin, so we're going to use a hair comb to filter out any pieces that are left behind. You can also use tweezers to fetch out any of the larger pieces, and we recommend carefully swiping around the edges of the resin tray window and remove any buildup. If there's a lot of bits and pieces, especially after a failed print, we recommend using a fine mesh strainer to quickly filter out the smaller debris into the second tray that comes with the printer. The build head itself is easy to clean after each print, just wipe off any remains.
Okay, so let's take a look at the leveling procedures. So we're gonna need to re-level the build head before starting a new job, mainly because it misaligns after removal. So we can start by loosening up the build head and moving it up. Then we'll initiate the leveling process. It'll start homing the build plate down until it reaches the resin tank window. From here, you can loosen up the build head and let it drop on top of the window. You'll then need to push down on all 4 corners to lay it flat. Once it's all straightened out and leveled, we can tighten it back up and then complete the process.
Now to finish up, we'll go ahead and clean the outside of the tray using a paper towel. You'll definitely want to be careful not to rub off the ink from the minimum and maximum labels that are on the tray, because you kind of need those.
Okay, so that's a quick look at Ember, the high-resolution resin 3D printer. We'll be using it for future projects for making small enclosures, figurines, jewelry, and even small specialty bits and pieces.
So if you have any suggestions on what project you'd like us to print, you can let us know in the comments. And be sure to tune in each Thursday for our 3D printing show, where we cover slicing techniques, modeling tutorials, and news in the world of 3D printing.
Don't forget to subscribe for more 3D printed projects from Adafruit. And until next time, remember to make, share, and repeat.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. We'll walk this way.
All right,
It's
so
a beautiful printer. So it's extremely high precision, but in exchange, there's a little bit of goopiness. You saw there's a lot of gloves and reaching into stuff and cleaning it off. But if you need that high precision, the Ember is pretty amazing. I mean, they said it was like, what, 15, 20 times more high resolution than like a MakerBot or something, a similar type of printer.
this was our news from the future segment. The future is here. It just hasn't been
Printed
3D printed everywhere yet. So
we were one of like 15 beta testers.
Yeah.
And we're like, Phil and I are like, we're not gonna have time to play with this.
we bought it, by the way.
Oh yeah, we paid for this thing.
Yeah.
And they're a little expensive. But we sent it to Noah and Pedro just to see what kind of cool projects they've come up with. So maybe we'll see some more Ember prints from them.
All right, before we get into new products, the code is GEM. 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Data. So this is it. New products. The first one.
We have
Type A machine.
low quantity but high quality new products today.
We got that printer I was talking about. I'm going to break my rule here. So the code is still GEM. If you're ever thinking about getting one of these printers, it's 10% off and it's free UPS
it's
ground.
less than anywhere else.
It kind of blows for us, but you would be getting a good deal. So if you're thinking about this printer, it's a good deal.
It's amazing, and it's apparently this is like the best printer you can get. That like other than the Ember, which has a small build volume but very high quality.
Well, you need like a garage because it's like a vat of chemicals.
But this one has high quality, high precision, and the extruder design is different than other extrusion style printers. So you actually get, and I even saw it. I was like, wow, it's like a really slim extruder, and so they actually have very fast heat up times. And the edges look really good. So if you look at the detail on the gun blade, I mean, it's amazing. It looks molded. Okay. It's really good quality. So check out the Type A. I'm gonna get one of these maybe and try them out, but this is like our top pick for best 3D printer out there
Right now. High praise. Okay, Lady Ada, this just came out moments ago. I didn't really eat today, and this product looks tasty.
Delicious. This is the new capacitive touch shield for Arduino. We had a version for the Raspberry Pi called the capacitive touch hat, and it was actually really popular. People really liked it a lot, and so I actually just spun it up into a shield. So if you see here, can you go back one?
I would like to go back.
Go back one, please. Thank you. So this is shield, so it goes onto an Arduino. It works with any Arduino, Yun, Leonardo, Mega, Uno, Due Millenove. Any kind of Arduino you have that has the SDA and SCL pins over there in the corner. And then as you see, there's these like weird figure 8 holes. And there's it's like 2 big holes and a teeny hole. And I'll show you how this works. Basically, it's designed so you can clip an alligator clip onto it and then clip that alligator clip to something else, conductive, because the alligator clip is like, it's a wire. And the way this works is the chip all the way on the left, the little diamond square all the way over there next to the Adafruit logo, it can sense when a person or an animal basically touches one of the 12 contacts. So it's really good for like detecting when somebody grabs something or touches something. You might have, you have capacitive touch screens on your phone, but maybe you've seen elevators where the buttons are capacitive, or you have a microwave with capacitive buttons, or anything where you don't have to push. You just kind of lightly tap with your finger.
I'm a person and an animal. Does it work for someone like me?
Yes, if you're a person and an animal, it also works. But I'm just saying, because people are like, well, it worked with my dog or my cat. So like, when my cat drinks out of the bowl, I'll get notified. Okay. Yes, it will work for that as well.
Okay.
So basically
this
anything.
Is fruit demo.
Yeah, and so you can connect to the other side of the alligator clip to anything that is electrically conductive or capacitive. And it doesn't have to be something that it actually can pass electricity. So like fruit, for example, you can't use it as like a conductor, but it works very well because it's full of like slightly salty water. So anything that's wet or on the inside will work really well. And so this is kind of fun if you want to make like fruit drums or like banana pianos. And on the right, on the right over there, we also have a glass ITO covered glass. So glass wouldn't work normally, but if you get glass that's been covered with indium tin oxide, which we have in the store, it can be a transparent conductor. And then all the way, like that. And then if you go all the way to the left, keep going. Okay, there. Can you zoom into that?
Yeah, I can.
Please. Nice work. Thank you very much. In addition to these delicious fruits, we also have over there a strip of copper tape. So we have Pyrolux, which is copper flex material, and also probably Pyrolux, copper tape, and also conductive fabrics. You see all the way on the left there. There's a conductive knit fabric that works. It's meshed with silver thread on nylon that will work really well. Velostat also might work. Anything that's even slightly conductive will work pretty well. So just look around. Metallic stuff works great. And I'll just show really quickly on the overhead how you clip.
That would be great.
Onto,
we have this overhead, and I feel like we should use it.
Let's use this overhead.
Okay.
So
so you've got this. You've got this thing.
Yeah, I don't have a full demo because I just.
Do you want me to zoom in?
Yeah, sure.
I can zoom in.
Zoom in a little bit, just onto the shield.
You just want like that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Oh, look at how everything I want is happening today.
Yeah.
Okay, good, thank you. So yeah, this is just like soldered onto an Arduino. It only uses the SCL and SDA pins, and then you grab your alligator clip, and you just clip onto it like that, and now it makes a nice, good connection.
Okay.
And then you can clip the other side to your fruit.
Okay, so I should probably zoom out now, though.
No, this is great. Look, it's just fruit.
You think it's good? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much a demo. I'm going to do
This is the demo.
I'm going to do a.
You just plug in fruit. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Well, now the Arduino can detect when the fruit has been touched. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't do anything because I haven't programmed it to do anything. But when the fruit's touched, you can detect it. So, for example, if you connect it to a Leonardo, you can have it send key presses. So the demo I'm going to be doing. If you have it hooked up to processing, you can maybe have videos play. It basically just looks like an input, but you can just clip onto any of these 12 contacts. And people really like this chip. So we have a really good library tutorial for it. It's really easy to use. And people just love capacitive touch stuff. So now you have 12 capacitive touch contacts. Lots of them.
And tonight, the star besides you, Lady Ada, is one of my favorite products that now has an update.
Yeah.
Everybody, get ready. This is the world premiere of Gemma version 2.
Yay, confetti.
One of the best wearables, just got better. For those of you who are asking right now, you're viciously typing, type it. Here's the deal. This is what the Arduino Gemma is going to be. We have to work with Arduino, and they have to do lots of approvals, and there's packaging, and there's all sorts of other things. So we have always been working on the Adafruit Gemma. Also, some people might want their electronics in black, like me. And so this is available now. We may eventually only have the Arduino Gemma.
This is also a way to kind of beta test before we release the Arduino Gemma into the world.
Before we make 1 billion of these.
We want to make 1 billion. We only made like a couple hundred of these. It's basically the Arduino Gemma will be electrically identical. It's just going to be blue. It's going to be a lovely teal blue with the Arduino logo on the back instead of the Adafruit logo.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's exactly the same PCB. And this is the upgrade to the Gemma. So the Gemma is our small wearable electronic platform. So for example, I have a Gemma bracelet here that we did, and this is just a really good example of one of the many.
What's the overhead?
Okay.
Yeah, so I want you to talk about like the differences or whatever.
Yeah, and this is with the older Gemma, and I'll turn this.
The floor is yours, my lady.
Thank you. Gemma intensifies.
Yeah.
So this is the Gemma, and this is the Gemma version 1, and for example, this is like a bracelet that you can clip on and wear. So we made like a glowing NeoPixel ring bracelet, and this is one of many projects. We also have this lovely tiara. Hold on, let me plug this in. Just give me 1 second. So it's just recharging. Okay, so we also have like a tiara project that had a Gemma in it, for example, and it had like LEDs and stuff. Maybe I'll put this so it lights up. So this is like basically a small round microcontroller, and you can see the little square in the center is the chip, and then there's a USB connector and a battery connector, and you can make glowing tiaras and such. And this has actually been really popular, and we are working with Arduino, which is the maker of the popular Arduino Uno, to make the
So this is the
Arduino Gemma, which is the next version. But in the meantime, we have kind of like the Adafruit, the black version before the official Arduino one comes out. And it's basically very similar to the Gemma. It uses an ATtiny85 microcontroller, which is an 8 kilobyte microcontroller, but it's really low power and pretty simple and very small, which is the trade-off for not having 32 bits and built-in Ethernet and Wi-Fi and stuff. It still has 6 pads, power and ground, and 3-volt output, and then 3 data pins, which is not a lot. So there's 3 pins that you can use for input or output. But for most people, that's fine. They just want like a switch and then some NeoPixels and maybe an analog sensor. So for projects like that, this is really great because it's so small. So the update between the old Gemma and the new Gemma is the old Gemma used a mini USB connector. You can sort of see here. It's a little bit chunkier. And then the new one has a micro USB connector. So we're moving slowly to everything being micro USB because all phones and tablets and gadgets and GPSs use micro USB. So we moved from a mini USB to a micro USB. And then we also moved from this large SOIC package for the microcontroller to a QFN. And that makes it much smaller. And with that space that we saved, because the chip is smaller and the connector is smaller, we had added space for an on-off switch. So the problem that we were seeing, not a problem, but like a common request was, normally you would connect your battery up to your Gemma, but like in this case, you would have to like solder in a switch. So you'd see here like the battery comes in, and then there would be another switch connector, and it was a little bit inelegant. And people were like, well, it would be really nice if there's an on-off switch on the Gemma like the Flora, but to keep it small, we didn't have an on-off switch. But now that we have a little bit more space, we added a handy little on-off switch, so you can quickly turn on and off your Gemma. So that's the big improvement. Basically, an on-off switch has been added, and it's a micro USB jack, so it's even slimmer, and you can use your cell phone cable. Otherwise, it's exactly the same size. The battery connector and USB connector are pretty much in the same exact location. This one just is a little shorter. The reset button is the same. The onboard LEDs are the same. The power draw is the same. The code's the same, the bootloader is the same, the Arduino ID modification is the same. Everything's the same. The only upgrade to this little microcontroller is micro USB and on-off switch, and it's even the same price.
That's a big deal.
So it's lovely.
Okay. So someone had asked, can they program the Gemma in C if they wanted to?
In fact, the Arduino language is basically C. It's actually C++, but you don't really end up using objects because there's not that much space anyways on an 8 kilobyte microcontroller. So you basically are programming it in C. If you look at all of the Gemma tutorials, you'll C, you'll be like, wow, look at all this awesome C-like language stuff. You can basically define functions and program the pins as much as you like. And we have libraries that you use for NeoPixels and such.
I want to say good work, Lady Ada, and also a shout out, of course, to Becky, who's taken the Gemma platform and put it in so many projects that made this something that we can continue to keep doing. So.
Yeah, we have like a dozen Gemma projects, and Becky was the one who said, hey, can you put an on-off switch on? And I was like,
yeah.
You know what, that's a good idea. I should do that. So,
Sticky
burn.
And also, I'd like to thank Massimo and Pietro, who's helped move Arduino Gemma very fast. So right now we are just wrapping up some of the final boxes, and we have the PCBs. Like, everything is coming together. We should have the official Arduino Gemma shipping soon.
Very soon. But in the meantime, you can pick up one of these until we do the changeover and help us beta test. I don't believe there's any reason that these wouldn't work out, but it's always good to have only 100 before you make 10,000.
I mean, one of the things that, oh, by the way, that's new products, everybody.
That's new products.
Yeah, so, yay, new products. So, by the way, don't forget Gem, 10% off in the
Why
Adafruit
is it
store.
Gem, not Gemma? Just like
Because when I was racing to work on the show, I didn't know if we were going to put Gemmas in stock in time.
Okay.
And so I'm like, well, if I put Gem, at least like I could say, well, see, we got it up in the store, but
because it's not complete.
Yes.
It was a little word pun. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it was literally like 6:58, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta like get this copy done, and like we had to like switch out the packs and update the tutorial and good times.
So that's that. So folks, you can ask your questions. I'm gonna give
a couple minutes.
I'm gonna give it 5 minutes. Just pop them up in the. Can
Gemma is actually, by the way,
Gemma run Crisis? Is that a game? Video game?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's all right.
Gemma is like my favorite, one of my favorite platforms. Like the Gemma and the Trinket are so much fun, and it's one of those examples of disruption in like oh, I'm disrupting an industry sense of the word. It's so small and low cost. Like people who previously wanted to do stuff with electronics and were just scared because they're like, oh, it's like even a $30 Arduino was a little bit much. For like under $8, you can get started with wearable electronics. We have even a Gemma starter kit that's like $19.95, and it comes with like thread and LEDs and like all the stuff you'd want to really build wearables.
Okay.
You can learn electronics and wearables for like $20.
Okay, let's see. Someone wants to make a tree topper using Gemma, and I think control it with pumpkin. Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, we made I think we did a tree topper project. It's one of Noah and Pedro's first project.
Here, what is your thoughts on the Spark Electron? Are you guys also considering becoming a 2G provider? Here's what we think. This is a really cool thing that they're doing on Kickstarter, and they're paving the way for maker companies to become cell phone providers for Internet of Things. So
I told them I would absolutely carry it. We're still working on becoming a 2G provider.
Yeah, we're working on that too. It takes forever.
It takes a really, really long time, and I mean we have links to like the M2M sites that will provide you, and also like DigiKey sells SIM cards that you can grab that have pretty good data plans. It's just it's a lot of work.
Yeah. So anyways, we really like it. And we already make things for the Spark Core. So we're looking forward to stocking the Electron.
Yeah, we're going to carry the Photon.
Yeah.
That's already in play. And then the Electron, when they've fulfilled the backers, we'll carry as well.
Someone wants to know if we plan on keeping the price the same for the Arduino Gemma as the Adafruit
It should
Gemma.
be the same.
Yeah, even though it costs us more to make the Arduino Gemmas, we're going to try to make it the same.
It won't be less because the Arduino Gemma has much more packaging.
Yeah.
So if it was a different price, it might be more.
Okay.
Not more, but it might be like 50 cents or $1 more. We'll have to look at the numbers, but just because I can't promise anything because we're not,
Yeah.
But-
My head is a giant planetoid with its own weather system. I think that's a Michael Myers thing. Someone has the same movie trivia fondness as I do. See, it's just I have to get these special hats.
But how often do you have to wear hats?
Enough for it to make me
Other
feel
than-
weird about it. Okay.
Well, that's teeny head.
What
Like,
do you
always
suggest
have
for
to-
wireless communications between Raspberry Pi and Arduino?
It's a good question. Wireless communication. I don't know XBs, but here's the problem. It's actually a little bit of an issue because a lot of the wireless modules use serial UART, and like on the Raspberry Pi, you really don't want to give up your UART. So like I would say XB, but then I'm like, well, but then like you kind of lose your UART on the Pi. So I don't know. You could use an easy link on the Arduino, which is like a Bluetooth, and then use blues on the Pi, and that way you'd be using Bluetooth, and you take care of the Bluetooth side on the Pi using a USB module. I don't know.
Complicated. This is
It's complicated. Another thing you can do is you can use like a CC3000 or other Wi-Fi module on the Arduino and put a Wi-Fi module on the Pi and put it into AP mode. Because it's not too hard to turn a Raspberry Pi into an access point. And then you would have the Arduino basically just AP connect to the Pi as the access point, and then you would communicate just through like 10.0.0.1 or whatever it is.
Okay.
Not an easy way. That's a tough one. Most people just use a wire. I suggest a wire, a USB cable. You need 15-foot long USB cables. Maybe that's long enough.
Yeah. Would the Trellis have a library that works with an Arduino Due for an animatronic head?
I don't see why not. It's only I2C. There's always this weird thing with like the Due I2C needs to be called like wire 1 or something, but it's not a difficult change
Yeah.
to do.
Next up, someone wanted to know, is there any cool secret Bluetooth low energy stuff in the pipeline? Yeah.
Yo, tons.
Yeah, I guess I
Oh
could
my
say
God, there's so much cool
we're
Bluetooth
gonna
energy
we're gonna
stuff.
have a Flora Bluefruit.
We have a Blora.
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 Oh, Blora.
Blora?
Blora.
Is that the new product name? No. We have a Flora Bluetooth. We have like all sorts of Bluefruit. We're waiting for. Me and K-Town we're close to regretting this, but we actually have everything done. But Nordic just came out with 32 kilobyte versions of the NRF 51822, and we decided we wanted to wait until we could get our modules made with 32 kilobyte instead of 16 kilobyte flash because, RAM. Yeah, 32 kilobytes of RAM instead of 60 kilobytes of RAM because the extra RAM can really help with some of the stuff that we want to be doing. And we didn't want to support both a 16K RAM and a 32K RAM. It's like then the firmware wouldn't be compatible. So everything is on hold until we can get these modules. And the code's done, so we're waiting. But there's nothing we can do because we don't want to maintain 2 forks of hardware.
Okay. All right.
But it's cool.
Let's give.
It's not out yet. Don't ask.
Yeah. Let's give something away.
Let's give away a Gemma.
We're gonna give away a Gemma, like hot off the press Gemma.
Yeah, this is like still warm from the oven.
Okay.
Ooh.
What are the rules, Lady Ada? I just need some rules.
The rules are let me give you some structure. If you've won something from this Ask Engineer trivia prize question, and sometime in the last 5 years since we've been doing it, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime. The first person to answer the question correctly in the chat, both YouTube and Ustream, are they synced up tonight?
They're pretty synced up.
They're pretty synced up. Whoever, and by the way, it takes a couple minutes. So if you're fast, it doesn't matter which stream you're on. The first one to answer correctly according to what Phil wants as the answer, the winner
A lot of pressure.
of this Gemma. What? You come with a question, come with the answer. You win this fabulous Gemma V2. Congratulations! You're going to get the first one, hot off the press. Please enjoy it. What's the question?
Okay. Tonight's question is: there's a new site for the Art of Electronics, 3rd edition. What is it? Type in the URL. You don't need the HTTP.
Or it's and
You
hell.
don't need the HTTP and the www and the colon and the // just the domain name and the what's the other part of the call? What's that part called? That's the top level TLD.
Yeah, the top level domain.
Yeah. So name top level, because I think on YouTube you're not allowed to do URLs.
You don't need the.
The answer is
thick
not
one.
1917. You guys think I'm just going to ask the question from the trivia, from the time travel thing? You're not. All right. So what is it? What is it? What is it? You have to look. What is the?
Come on, who isn't just refreshing the Horse and Hillside?
You
I
can-
love how everyone thinks it's the time travel.
You can go to adafruit.com/blog, and it's one of the featured ones, and you can click the photo, and then you can click the photo again, and you'll go to the site, and you can be like, here's the site. Oh, here it is. Someone got it. NVP_, congratulations.
Nivip.
Artofelectronics.net.
Not
Artofelectronics.net.
.net. D.net.
Yeah. One thing we found out, so it was I was just emailing with like some Horowitz and Hill type
Oh
people.
yeah, that's
Just
so.
just representing. And
Oh no, I'm not. I didn't wear my shirt. I should.
yeah, it's all right.
I'm wearing my I'm wearing my
You got your laughing
squid, which was our first not in my ex's basement web server.
Yeah. So I just emailed him, and we were going to do a Twitter account, but Art of Electronics is too long for Twitter. It's too long of a username.
So AOE.
Taken. Yeah. Yeah, good one.
What about
Yeah.
Transistor Man?
See, but I don't think that, I don't know if Transistor Man's in this.
Actually, don't know if Transistor Man is. This is
Yeah,
actually
we
the
gotta
first.
find out.
And like 5 people were emailing me like, is Transistor Man in
Yeah.
our electronics? Because if it isn't, it's kind of a bad scene.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, the fellow who won,
NVP_.
NVP_, email support@adafruit.com and let us know that you got the Gemma 2. It's super cool. I'm really happy with this product. Good work.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for tonight.
Epic.
That's it for tonight. We got to
Okay,
get out
we
of
got
here.
to the show.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. We'll be here next week. We'll be here every day.
We have fruit.
Yeah. And thank you, everyone out there who watches the show and supports us. We're working really hard. Things are going really well at Adafruit. It's getting pretty heavy. And I say heavy, the company wants to grow bigger, and it keeps wanting to do stuff. So we're about to move into more space in the building.
Yeah, you're going to put on Peter Gabriel and smash down a wall.
Yes, I'm going to smash down a wall between 2 spaces so we get even more space.
Yeah, we have one. We're
Yeah.
currently in one half of the building, one half of the floor, and we have the other half of the floor, and the build out is nearly complete. And by build out, I just mean it is like a certificate of occupancy that we can actually legally put people in there.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, which is good. No, I'm just saying, like, we don't have like glass partition doors and like, you know, all that fancy stuff.
Yeah, no, we run a factory space, so
we
everything.
have HVAC.
Yeah, everything's almost finished. We just had to do a couple of updates. We're balancing the HVAC, so.
So this desk may move.
Yeah. The Ask an Engineer is still going to be within
factory.
shipping and inventory. Yeah.
But shipping inventory might move because we're going to get 10,000 more square feet. Right now we're in 10,000 square feet, and I remember when we first moved in, we're like, wow, this is so much space.
Yeah.
But
So-
now there's another space.
So thank you everyone out there, all the staff members who watch the show, who help out with the show, who work on the show, all the community members,
remote people.
all the remote people, the audience. Thanks
Our
for
local people.
thanks for everything. It's hard to keep this up, but the energy that you guys, I don't get all hippie, but all the energy that you guys throw our way is helping.
You know what's funny? This last 2 weeks, we've been doing a lot of web dev, and the web dev team works really hard. And we have a lot of tools that we have in-house. We basically made our own ERP system, which hopefully you don't know what that stands for, because if you do, like, I'm really sorry about how your life turned out. But it's very, and you know, it's tax time, and so like there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of reports to generate. And so we made this new rule that instead of just sending bug reports, we would also send hug reports. So now we send hug reports to the web dev team and tell them how awesome they are.
Yeah.
So this is what you're doing. You're sending a hug report.
Yeah.
You want to hug it out?
Yeah, I need a hug. All right, thank you. All right. Okay, we got to get out of here. I'm out of my mind.
I know.
gotta get out
We
of
need to.
All right, the code's Gem.
Phil
Thanks
needs
so much.
food badly.
I need more than food. All right, we'll see everybody next week. Here's a picture of the cat. That's Mosfet. And here,
He's doing good.
And here is your moment of Zener. All right, goodbye, everybody. I'll see you next week.